there's been a lot of talk about quiet climate policy and whether, climate hushers climate hushing and whether, this more sort of behind the scenes coalition building can result in more durable policy if we're not, going out in front of voters and just saying climate, climate, climate all the time when it is polarizing to a lot of voters out there. So I think this is, as someone who was very close to the messaging development around the IRA, I think that was a lesson that really that I took away from it all, is that I did underestimate, I think, the cultural backlash.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, the climate hushing thing, I'm just sort of like, I guess like one thing about my theory of change that transcends a bunch of this stuff is I really believe in like policy sequencing and I do not think that anyone would argue that it is good electoral advice to Democrats or Republicans today to be like, lead with the tip of your spear of your election campaign should be climate action. Yeah. Like everyone knows that is true. Like anyone who's saying that is not true is lying. On the other hand, I'm not convinced that like you can never talk about climate. Right. It really is quite context dependent. And also I don't think it means that will be the case forever. Like that's part of the kind of green spiral theory, is like, not only are you building these concentrated economic interests who stand to benefit from more aggressive climate action over time, but you're also, by investing in technologies to bring them down the cost curve, making it cheaper to take climate action for everyone. And so I think like the notion is, if you can reduce the like marginal unit of political will that is required to overcome cost barriers for climate action, you will be in a much better space politically, because you're not asking people to make like sacrifices in the name of a global invisible gas, even though I know it has horrible consequences for humans and ecosystems all over the planet. It is just hard because it's a global invisible gas, and a lot of the worst impacts are feared in the future. So, we should be honest that climate hushing may be a near-term tactical requirement, and I think that in some ways it is. And we are not going to get the entire global economy to net zero by never talking about climate change. So, like, over time, our analysis of this stuff needs to evolve. But I think in this moment, it's just there's a lot of progress that we can still make without leading with climate.